Okay, so the first step to change spark plugs in a 2016 Chevy Malibu, the 2-liter, is you gotta take these 3 torque nuts off. They're a T30. These weren't very tight. Then you gotta take the oil cap off here. Make sure no dirt falls in there. Pop the cover off. And put the oil cap back on. Yeah, there you go. Okay, next, I'm just gonna loosen all these bolts here for the coils. Once you have those bolts out, then we got to remove all these plugins. You can just do it by hand. Push this clip down in the back here, but sometimes they're just a pain. So I just like to lift the clip up a little bit here, and it works a lot easier. Just be gentle. This might be the lazy way of doing it, but I don't really care. I guess before you should pull these all out, you should blow all this junk off. Okay. And then I just pull these ones all out and lay them nicely where they came from. I just like putting them in the same spot where I took them out. So I just lay the coils nicely to each hole, that way I know where they came from. Okay, then the next thing is, we'll blow out all these spark plug tubes. It's very important to make sure they're really clean, because you do not want dirt to fall inside the cylinders. So the next thing you want to do is take the spark plugs out, or one at a time though. And I'm using this nice flexible socket. It's 5/8. It's got a nice magnetic thing so the spark plugs stay in there. Steer wrench. It's not my, I've seen better. It's a little shallow here, so sometimes if they're super tight they want to slip. But it's not bad for the price of it. And then break this loose. You want to make sure the engine is not hot and not cold, so just room temperature. I'll blow it out again. You can pull it out. See, and now the spark plug stays in there with this tool and it doesn't fall out, which is super nice. The other thing is these new spark plugs, they don't have a, they're supposed to be pre-gapped, but they didn't have a cover on there to keep them that way. So they're bent, the tips a little bit, and I had to pre-gap them. There's this nice tool here, it's also a gear wrench, just to check what the gap is. Just be gentle with that. It's supposed to be 37 thou to 43. It's hard to read right now this here. It was at 30, so it's too small, so I adjusted it a little bit, and now it's at 40 thou, so I'll be happy with that. Okay, and then to screw them in, just start in my hand, Be gentle so you don't drop it down there. That way it won't wreck the tip and the gap will be off again. So now, technically you're supposed to torque these. They are 15 foot-pounds. I don't have a torque wrench yet that goes that low. So I'm just gonna hand tighten them. Just be gentle. Just snug them up. There's no need to go crazy tight. Best is to torque them, but it is what it is. And I will do the rest. Okay, so the next step is put the coils back on. So, take the coils, just look at the boot, make sure it's not like soft, like see you have an oil leak here. I gotta change that later. And sometimes if oil gets into these spark plug tubes, they'll go all soft and they can cause misfires as well. But these look good. There's no burn marks or anything on them. So it should be good. So then we've got some dielectrical grease. Just take let's use a little bit out and put it inside here. Doesn't need much, just so that they don't get, makes it easier next time and they don't stick onto the spark plugs. And I think it helps insulate them too a little bit for causing misfires. Slide them in there. Do that with everyone. A little bit of dielectric grease on there. Slide it in. And then plug them back in until it locks. You hear a little click. Push that in. Push it, clicks, lock. Okay, and then we take these little screws. Start them all by hand. Don't want to cross thread them. Just snug them. They don't need to be very tight at all. Alright, and that's it. And then we just gotta take that cap off. Put this cover on again without dirt in there. Put the cap back on. Start these screws. And then you just tighten them up just a little more than hand time. Perfect. And then final test. Fire up the car and see if it still runs okay and make sure there's no misfire. And that's all there is to changing the spark plugs.